Well, you don't know we can find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? A magic carpet ride. Well, you don't know we can find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? Magic carpet ride.
Welcome to After the Game. Some great football played today. We'll get talking about it pretty quickly, but please welcome some mates of mine, Sam Lane, Dave Hughes and Damien Callanan. Hey, mate. Hello, mate.
It's nice to be considered one of your mates.
I like to think so. Yeah. Now, there's some great footy being played today. The Collingwood Kangaroos, Telstra Dome tonight.
It's great for Collingwood like you do.
Yeah, I thought it was game of the year. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they really turned it on for McCartney, didn't they?
The Kangaroos, yes, Anthony Rocco winning the inaugural Jason McCartney medal. Another trophy to play for.
I mean, they can't win from McCartney every week, the Kangaroos. Really,
no. Don't you think?
No, I don't believe they can.
Oh.
I think they should
I don't think anyone was suggesting that, though.
Well, I thought...
No, it wasn't. Well, maybe. They peaked a couple
Collingwood
of
and the Kangaroos, they should play for the Mrs. Rocker Cup, I think.
Should, yeah. Do you think Mrs. Rocker's going to make a medal for Sav so he doesn't feel left out? Just made a little pasta or something.
Let's look at the scores of the Collingwood Kangaroos at Telstra Dome tonight. Collingwood did it pretty easily in the end. Anthony Rocker, Nathan Buckley and Chris Tarrant all in pretty good form, Sam.
Yes, Rocker and Tarrant, pretty awesome combination, and they need to be for Collingwood to do well. 7 goals between them, record crowd at Telstra Dome, and all very well for Collingwood finally stringing 2 together.
7 between them, what did they get each?
4 for Rocker and
3 for the other one?
4 to Tarrant, sorry, 4 to Tarrant and 3 to Rocker. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, you got me back now.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
We actually have Jared Waitley standing by at Telstra Dome in the Collingwood rooms. Are you there, Jared?
I am, Peace.
Great win, mate. Game of the year.
Yes, I'm sure you think so, Nathan. You probably don't think it was too bad either.
No, it went well, and I'm sure Peter's pretty happy with it.
Record crowds and big margins, it doesn't get much better.
Yeah, well, it wasn't our home match, so Eddie wouldn't be happy about that. But, yeah, the boys played very well tonight, and it was our most disciplined team performance and our best result.
And Bucks, best on ground, mate. You kicked 2 goals. You spent a bit of time on the interchange bench. I put some money on you for the Brownlow during the week, mate. I wasn't happy with seeing you on the bench. Does that upset you a bit, that the odds might, inflate a bit if you spend a bit of time on the bench?
It kills me, mate. That's the first thing I think of.
Now, Nathan, I think Peter Halley is the one who told me that you keep a running total of your stats in your head as the game's going. Can you tell me, is that true or not?
I used to, but I must have lost some intelligence as I've gone on because I don't do it anymore.
And Bucks, you've had the monopoly of the young kids wearing the number 5 jumpers around. I've noticed with Chris Tarrant's recent good form, mate, that there's plenty of number 20s around. Have you been keeping an eye on the young kids and their jumpers?
Yeah, we have Buckley's Brigade clinics. We had one last Tuesday and we've got another one next Tuesday during the kids' school holidays, and there's quite a few 20s floating around, 23s and the odd 25 are popping up, and yeah, the old fellas get pushed out and the young fellas come in.
Now there's a medal you haven't won, Nathan. You didn't win the Jason McCartney medal. We thought best on ground. You're not questioning your courage, are they?
They may well be doing that, but Anthony Rocker, a very fitting winner.
Might be able to buy it off him, mate.
Off him?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he'd sell it, mate.
Speaking of numbers, Nathan, pretty important for the Magpies to get 2 in a row.
It was. It was the first time we played 2 decent games in a row and the 2 wins since round 3. So we really set ourselves this week, and we believe the Kangaroos have been fantastic performers during the course of the year, and it was always going to be a challenge, and we played very well.
Just one more question, Bucks. How's your wife's shoe shop going, mate?
She's killing it. She's running out of stock, so I'd get down there quick.
All right, no worries, mate.
There you go. Thank you very much, Jared Waitley and Nathan Buckley in the Collingwood rooms at Telstra Dome. Great win by the Pies. Now, there are, of course, some other games last night at the same stadium. St Kilda took on Essendon, and these were the scores. Essendon were never really challenged, Sam.
No, 68 points at the end of the game. You wouldn't have believed that they went in even on premiership points going into it, but Matthew Lloyd kicked 8 goals, became the first player this season to reach 50. He's now on 51. And
he didn't look like he had an opponent last night.
No, and amazingly he went in apparently under an injury cloud.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just Sheedy being a bit nutty, isn't it?
Well, Sheedy, after the match as well, he didn't even discuss the Saints, apparently, with his side. He's just focusing on Adelaide.
He's
Their
moved on.
opponents next week, yes, and apparently this is the mid-season
Well, it
final
looked
we've
like
all
St
been
Kilda
waiting
hadn't
for.
discussed Essendon either.
That's right.
How they played. The first 7 minutes of that game was the most surreal thing I've ever seen. I was at the far end of the ground. The ball just didn't come up. St Kilda had 3 possessions in 7 minutes.
But when they
were poo.
But when they got the ball, they were hopeless. I've seen virgins with better ball handling skills than St Kilda.
They look like they'd given up. Best thing, the game was live on TV, which was fantastic.
It was great, yeah. It's because of the tennis, yeah.
I got home, thought I had to sit through Burke's backyard, but didn't have to. That was
A lot of people celebrating that.
Absolutely.
And Mercedes did it then, cool. I'm thinking, and he actually went home. He didn't go to hospital, or he didn't, sit on the bench. He actually just went home. That's disrespecting your opposition when you're sending players home to beat traffic on the way home, isn't it? I think that's great.
I left the ground half an hour later, and Frankie Peckett was still standing in the middle of the ground waiting to get chaired off for his 200. Aaron Hamlet actually carried the whole team. So.
There was another game, great game today at Subiaco, Fremantle versus Brisbane, and I don't think it was so much of an upset. A few of us here tipped Fremantle, and they got home in a great contest.
Well, forget F for focus. F is now for finals, I think, at Freo Land. Lions led at every change, but Freo snatched the lead very, very close to the siren, and 4-1 in the last quarter got them over the line.
Because Chris Connolly, the Fremantle coach, said that they weren't worrying about the finals, didn't he?
That's right. He said...
Well, that's just rubbish, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, everyone's worrying about the finals.
they are, and it was a bit of a
Western
strange
Bulldogs,
call.
I don't think, are worrying about
What about the Scott boys, though, the 2 Brisbane guys?
They're angry.
They're angry men.
They are.
They need to go to an anger management class.
They did, but they punched everyone up.
Every week they're just going off their nuts, those 2.
Well, it's hard to go to Subiaco and win because of the great home ground advantage that the West Coast and Fremantle have. And it's not just the ground, it's also supporters, and the Freo supporters really helped out on this occasion when Jonathan Brown was trying to have a shot on the boundary line. And look at these 2 guys, they are just into Jonathan Brown. They move along with him, look. They just followed him all around the ground.
I was a bit of lip reading there, but they were actually just asking whether Dreamworld was better than SeaWorld.
He should be allowed to just lean over the fence and punch on him, I reckon. That would stop that.
It'd be good to see. I'll tell you, one of my favourite new players, Byron Shammer. We call him Shammer Time. He kicked a great goal. Great goal in the last quarter to set up the win for Fremantle.
Yes, and their coach was happy this week. He had a great win, obviously. Chris Connolly.
Yes.
But last week he wasn't so happy. His press conference after the loss last week, it was all going wrong even further at the press conference. Have a look at this.
We really put ourselves on the back foot in the first half, and particularly the first quarter, and we had a wind advantage. Could be worse. The plane could go. Hang on.
His last line was, it could be worse, the plane could go down.
Could someone just send a block of blue tack over to Tassie on the next Spirit of Tassie?
I think
that's all it needs.
It's a blue tack. It's simple as that. The other game was Hawthorn versus the Bulldogs today at the G. And, geez, Hawthorn did this a little bit too easily.
They did. Another big one, 71 points, and they're looking the goods. All of a sudden, they'd lost 4 in a row, now they've won 4 in a row, and a good percentage boost for them. Nathan Thompson returning and kicked 5 goals. Excellent game for the Hawks.
Do you think the 19-year-old girl from Footscray being banned for 3 weeks for spitting on Anthony Rocker last week had an impact on Footscray's performance today?
I'm not sure, but they played like something was affecting them.
So they should have put her in the side. At least she's showing some passion. What passion any of the players are showing.
Those 3 weeks off was probably the best thing that's ever happened to her. Not having to watch the Bulldogs get thumped everywhere.
Good point.
Actually, last week Hawthorn played down, of course, in Tassie, and they love their footy down at Tassie, and they enjoy watching the game, but they know how to keep themselves amused during the game. Take a look at this. 2 of the old guys in the crowd, and there we go.
Wow.
They actually share the same pair of teeth. When a pie comes around at half time, there's...
Well, toothbrushes only came down to Tasmania last year, so had a lot of years. I know it's not true. I love Tasmania. It's a great spot to go when you're. It's good.
Good Lord.
It's good.
Now,
All right.
I think you had
Yes, Peter Schwab.
you saw a press conference,
Yes,
yeah.
his press conference was fantastic too. Unbelievable.
Today?
Yes, today. He's
Yeah.
always so insightful.
Yeah.
He was asked a question about how what he thinks about how the Bulldogs would be feeling, and this is his answer. Have a look at this.
I don't know. I think a win's a win. You just need a win every now and then when you're losing.
A win's the win. You need a win now and again when you're losing.
Yeah.
It's sort of wisdom that's keeping
It's a
him in the
Chinese
job.
proverb. Yeah.
I'm feeling for Peter Rd.
Well, he is feeling for him. You could maybe give him some of his heart pills.
Now, can we all go to press conferences, Sam, or do you have to have media accreditation?
You need an accreditation, yeah,
Really?
for post-match.
Oh, well,
Yep.
because look at this is Gary Ayres' press conference, and it seems like this guy didn't have
We
media
used the ball
accreditation.
well on the rebound.
And I'd just like to say, I think you've handled yourself very well.
Who are you?
New South Wales.
Oh, good on you, champ. That's great.
An imposter.
Yeah, well, apparently.
From Maroondah,
Either that or
New
Mike
South Wales.
Sheehan's lost the plot.
Adelaide, speaking of Adelaide, they took on Richmond tonight, and, well, this was almost predictable. Adelaide winning by about 5 goals in the end.
Look at the scoreline. It's 16 goals between the clubs. Quite incredible. Richo, the leading goal kicker, 3 goals, but it wasn't enough. It was just 11 points, I think, at the last change. But the Crows dobbed on 4, and the Tigers only managed 1, and they dropped it.
Well, they had a go, Richmond, at least.
They did. They had a go.
Because they're not happy with the media just abusing them all
A
the
lot
time.
of Richmond bashing going on there.
Yeah,
Right.
which is, I mean, they've been playing badly, so they get
Yeah.
abused.
Yes, they do.
I mean, 2 and 2 equals 4, you know what I
So
mean?
you reckon they get a rough go?
Oh, I don't think they
Because
get
we look after Richmond on this show, but other media outlets have been hard on them in the past.
Well, actually, speaking of...
And Danny Frawley is a media ban. He's not talking to the media. He did too much media last year, Danny Frawley, apparently. Apparently he applied for the Big Brother house.
He might have got on to.
Of course, Wayne Carey, his second game back, and played pretty well from the look of it. And he's brought a lot of new things to Adelaide, a lot of his skill and obviously leadership and innovation that you might expect from Wayne Carey. Take a look at what Wayne's brought to Adelaide tonight. Yeah. That's so Wayne.
It's so progressive, isn't it?
It's very progressive.
Cheer, girls.
It's like the old Swanettes in the 80s behind the goals.
Of all clubs to take that to.
But apparently...
They just don't need the distraction.
No.
They don't, but he's looking after. Andrew McLeod said during the week that he's happy to have Wayne there because he looks after the other players.
Yeah,
He's a protector.
Yeah, the enforcer.
He looks after the players. He's prepared to look after anyone, the players.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. Well, we do love going to the football stand, don't we? We love checking out those big old crepe paper banners, and we checked out a few this week. Damien, who did you check out?
Look, I look at the Richmond banner, which read this week, "To Adelaide we travel. Their supporters are cruel. They make you feel as welcome as a Chiquito in a pool."
Nasty.
Nice vision, that.
I got a preview of the Geelong banner. I snuck down to Geelong and got a bit of a snapshot of it. That's great. And I've brought it here to Geelong tonight. All right, here it goes.
Hard work.
We're looking for a new forward because ours aren't that strong, but who in their right mind wants to live in Geelong?
Great. Well, I look at the Brisbane banner before they ran out onto the ground at Subiaco against Fremantle. The mighty Brisbane Lions will get 3 flags in a row. That's because the AFL is our ho. We're back after this break with Mark McVeigh from the Essendon Football Club.
A bank is robbed. The bank manager is missing. So how do you prove it was murder if you can't find the stiff?
So where is he then?
9:30 Monday. Everyone had a reason to kill him, but this is murder with a twist.
He left his wife $3 million, but it's all gone.
An all-new case to keep you guessing.
He was old enough to be my father.
And the more they dig, the weirder this one gets.
This bank was due to close next week.
All new White Collar Blue. 9:30 Monday.
At Virginia Nursery, we need the space. New containers of pots have arrived with more on the way. Existing stocks have been heavily reduced to clear. Pay less than half the price you'll pay elsewhere. Also, special low prices on fountains and water features. Virginia Nursery, Gawler Road, Virginia, open 7 days.
The
less that happens to the oil in your engine, the better it protects. Which is why, together with Ferrari, Shell developed Helix. Even in the white heat of racing, Helix stays calm. And if Shell can protect a Ferrari, who better to protect your car?
Do you want the best interest rates? Do you want the best terms? We can help. Why?
Because Bernie Lewis Home Loans can find a loan that's right for you. Call them now on 8300 8300.
For service, experience and integrity.
Paint supplies, factory surplus batches. You'll pay less at Paint Supplies for cans with dents and scratches. Paints for this and paints for that, for town and country too. One call on the dog and blow, it's on the road to you. And when you see how much you save, you won't believe your eyes. Just off West Lakes Boulevard, we're talking Paint Supplies.
Stonecraft joins forces with the Slate Place to bring you huge savings on their entire range of timber, bamboo, laminates, ceramics and more. Massive discounts at two big sites, Stonecraft Flooring Mile End and the Slate Place Forestville. You'll be absolutely floored. Virginia Nursery, the place for the lowest prices on a huge range of perennials, roses, palms, conifers and trees, as well as fountains, water features and pots. Spotted colour, 10 for $10. Standard lily pillies, $19.95. Virginia Nursery, Gawler Road, Virginia, open 7 days.
Welcome back to After the Game. We hope you're enjoying yourselves. Please welcome our guest tonight. He's in pretty good form for the Essendon Football Club at the moment. Please welcome Mark McVeigh. Congratulations last night. A good win for the Bombers.
Yeah, it was. We certainly wanted to have 2 in a row, and we're going into a big game against Adelaide next week, and hopefully we can win a game in a state because we haven't won one for a while.
And you're going along nicely, aren't you, Mark? I mean, I know you played every game last year, but a few big roles this year and no bigger than Lenny Hayes last night.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Lenny and I played since we were under 13s together, so certainly it was a bit funny playing on him, and he went off the ground. I think he brought up his dinner.
Yes,
in the game.
You saw that happen, did you?
I actually spotted a few Fruit Loops in there, I reckon.
Well, while he was off the ground, did you have to tag his vomit?
No, I didn't, no.
Was it a problem? Because on the commentary they said the vomit was really there, and people could have slipped over
Yeah,
it.
well, it was disappointing. The runner didn't even attempt to even wash it out.
They put a sawdust over it. That's what they used to do in the classroom.
I heard it was actually the best part of the service at Tulsa.
Valley from now on, St Kilda won't be serving illusion shakers at quarter time as well, so
But
that'd be good.
You and Lenny grew up in New South Wales, didn't you? So, I mean, obviously a rugby league stronghold where you were from.
Yeah, we'd sometimes...
Would the other kids abuse you at school for playing AFL?
Oh, yeah.
It was a sissies go?
Yeah, because I had a lot of surfers and rugby league players at my school, and I just used to cop it about the tight shorts. So, but certainly, you know, it's all in the past now, and they're just back home still surfing the same
Exactly,
beaches.
and you're here with us.
Yeah, they're watching.
Now, mate, you had the dubious honour, I guess, of running into James Hurt at Subiaco last year and pretty much smashing your captain's face.
Yeah.
Now, we know this may be uncomfortable for you to look at, but that's it for those who haven't or have forgotten it. He actually ran into your knee, I think, personally. You went for the knee.
Yeah, good on you for bringing that up, Pete.
Yeah. So, how did you feel? How did you feel after that? You know, obviously not your fault, but did you feel?
Look, that's the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, in terms of if you have a role model in life and you look up to him, and certainly James is. I just because I hurt my knee pretty badly too. No one knew that. Like 6 weeks after that battle every week. But look, I mean, I rolled over, and to see that, you know, what had happened, the blood and stuff like that is a pretty shocking thing. And I didn't even say, "Are you all right, Hurdy?" I just got up and ran off.
Really?
I was just shocked. I was really shocked.
You were having no one saw it. What happened?
No, I was just...
But you've become pretty good mates since
we
then,
did,
is that
yeah.
right?
Oh, well, we were close before, but look, Hurdy was in the hospital, and I faxed him a letter.
Well, you faxed him. He would have liked
a hero fax.
So I couldn't get in contact because they said, "No, James is not taking your calls," so I couldn't ring him up. Yeah. So no, I just faxed him a letter, and look, we've become really close, and he's okay now.
There has been a slight change of appearance from James since, because he's had some obviously reconstructive surgery. We've had a look at this as slight differences. This is James Hurd as he was before the incident, and this is him afterwards.
No, we asked Hurdy why didn't he get his ears pinned when he was in there, but he might as well should have had it. But look, you know, it was one of those things, and it was a hard time in my life, but I tried to lift my football standards since then, and just going about it slowly at the moment and doing not too bad at the moment.
Now, from injuries, Mark, to the much more important matter of fashion, you are one of those kind of fashion gurus in the AFL, which, whether you feel comfortable about that or not, we're not sure. But we've seen you on the catwalk a few times. I think we've got a bit of footage of you on the catwalk, which is quite interesting.
You're just sliding down there.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering, this year, have you been keeping a bit of a lower profile?
Yeah, I haven't done anything like that. Any of that stuff. Where'd you get this from?
Someone at Essendon.
No, I've stayed away from it and just really concentrating on football. I think, you know.
I love your hair, Mark. Can I say your hair? That's fantastic. How long does it take to get to look like that?
I don't know, because I went into makeup and it only took her 5 minutes, so I don't know, it's all right.
Do you put gel on before the games? Do you put gel? Oh, you do, so.
Never have.
But seriously, it's a pretty hard environment. It's a pretty hard environment to be fashionable and slightly different in AFL. All the boys try and bring you back down a level. So if you didn't get ribbed about it, is it a genuine interest, or, you know?
I think, well, you look at the English Premier League and, they go to the extremes.
But I mean, Beckham, your hero, would you like
to? Look, I like him. He's pretty cool.
Maybe you can go with someone from Human Nature. But you've always been on the cutting edge of fashion, haven't you? Always. You have. We've got evidence. We've got a photo from your school deb.
And I just have to mention on the back of that, because we were very lucky to get it, that will appear in the next Bombers magazine. In the scrapbook.
Oh, that's where
thanks
it's
to your mother.
That's my mum.
Yes.
That's good.
Was it a colour night? Get the scarf on?
But seriously, it's part of like shaking that, because you were kind of given a pretty boy image. Is part of, do you kind of feel like you want to shake that in a way?
I mean, I cop it in a state. You know, if I'm going for goal, I can just hear "Pretty Boy" all over the stadium. But
that's better than ugly face.
I know, but I don't know.
I'm sick of these pretty boys whinging.
No, I don't. It's not something you try. I mean, it just happens, and I'm trying to stay away from all that as much as possible. I know Sheedsy's an old timer, so every time he sees me in a magazine or something, he has it in his office and he goes, "What is this?" And I have to explain it. But this year I haven't been in anything once, so except for your show.
Yep.
So,
Mark, what are you talking?
Mark, is Kevin Sheedy, you mentioned him, misunderstood genius or total nutbag?
Total nutbag.
Good to hear. Well, Mark, thanks for coming in tonight, mate. Well done last night, and it's great to see you. You're in great form, and good luck to the Bombers. Hopefully you can be one of the Victorian teams in the final 8.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Mark McVeigh, everybody. We'll be back with more after this.
It's the show that launched 1,000 dodgy hairstyles.
From day one, I was like, he is so hot.
Now the gang reveals all the secrets you hoped were true.
No, they don't know.
You were having a pretty good time.
Beverly Hills 10-year reunion premieres 8:30 Tuesday on 10.
Where's the home for bargains? Where's the home for great prices? Where's the home to go slow? Or a toolbox full of surprises? Where? Home Hardware. There's stacks of store-wide savings at our Stock Take Dog-a-Log sale. This GMC 4-pack is only $99, and this 3-piece saw set's just $12.95. The Stock Take Dog-a-Log sale. Home Hardware.
Why pay the full price when you can pay the right price? We buy cheap and we sell cheap. We offer huge discounts on food products, but you don't have to worry because we offer a 100% money-back guarantee.
Uncle Toby's Instant Porridge Plus $1.69. Meadowlee Logic Coal 2 for $3. Nescafe right price $2.99. Trident Prunes, Figs and Apricots right price 99 cents each.
Save money. Pay the right price.
Right price grocery clearance stores. Prospect, Salisbury, Modbury, Morford Vale and new store Phillip Highway, Elizabeth opposite Holden's.
Explosive, dynamic, unstoppable. Adelaide's Andrew McLeod. Medals of Honour commemorates Adelaide's decorated champion and celebrates his triumphs. Each action print is individually signed by Andrew. Strictly limited to 250 units, you can own yours framed for $495 or unframed for $395 plus postage and handling. Call 1-800-232-582 now to order your tribute to a Crows champion.
Wallace has just opened their new Mount Barker Function Centre, Tavern and 7 Auditorium Cinema Complex.
Yeah, the screen was huge, the chairs were comfy and it sounded amazing.
Yeah, Charlie's Angels too. It was really funny.
Yummy.
I actually think it's better than the first one.
We just saw Hulk, which was great.
And we just decided to have some dinner.
He asks the big questions.
You do Howard impressions.
All in the name of fun.
You adorable boy.
Tuesday comedy duo Leno and Woodley. Plus Shaggy in the studio live. A huge rove, 9:30 Tuesday on 10.
Welcome back to After the Game and to find out what's happening in the footy world for real from in AFL.com.au. The world of AFL.com.au, Sam Lane, what's been going on?
Well, Peter, at the MCG today, not very happy for the other Peter Rd. 71-point loss and 13 games now without a win. The Dogs, he said that he was going to put the acid on his players this week.
It's probably illegal, I would imagine.
And that he could only hope that this was as bad as it was going to get.
So have they lost their status as the best, worst team in history? Like the best bottom? Because everyone's going, they're so good and they're on the bottom and it's so unfair almost.
Well,
now they're really starting to show their colours, aren't they?
They were pretty bad today, and he even said after the match that at the moment he couldn't see where the next win would come, although I'm sure he'll turn that round during the week. He even, after the match, delayed his address to the players. He said he wanted them to cool down. He needed to cool down. He wasn't feeling very good, and he wanted to have a chat with them. They spoke for about 25 minutes, and he wanted to wait until they were ready to absorb all his feedback. But they're going to be doing a bit of soul searching. Not a good one for the Dogs.
What happens if Darcy and Brown don't sign? That'll be worse than rock bottom, wouldn't it?
Well, that'd be pretty bad, but Luke Darcy's already said that he's ready to get on board and wants to get on board.
Well, his form hasn't been very good anyway, has it?
He's really dropped off.
He was good last week. He was good last week against Collingwood.
Yeah, but they still got beaten.
He was really...
good form is winning form.
Yeah, he was pretty ineffective today as well. Interesting also, Lee Matthews, the Brisbane coach, defending his decision after the Brisbane Lions' narrow loss today to leave Alistair Lynch, their gun forward, at home in Brisbane. Yeah. We know that, or you'll remember that he suffers from chronic fatigue syndrome, or he used to. So he was left at home and didn't travel to Perth because
why can't he travel?
Well, apparently he gets there and then he just doesn't recover very well from the long trip.
Well, what do you do on a trip? You just sit there?
On the aeroplane? Well, I don't know, Dave, because I don't have chronic fatigue syndrome, but...
Can you get it and then inform it?
Sure, but he's kicked 14 goals in the last 2 weeks, and the Lions only lost narrowly, and I think Martin Pike was their major goal kicker with 3 goals. So, yeah, anyway, Lee said that if they'd taken him, he would have had to maybe been out for another few weeks. So
they're looking at cryogenically freezing him for the next trip.
Well, he's 35, isn't he? I'd be freezing him too.
Absolutely. Now, we get into a fair bit of trouble on this show sometimes about vilifying people and picking on people in the footballing community. So I suppose I'd like to change tack slightly here on After the Game and just look at a little package of some of the people who've left the game this year.
So it's going to be a positive thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a positive thing. So this is just roll the package here and see Varley look at that. Jason McCartney, one of the most emotional moments in league history. their exciting win over Richmond.
Ironically, he's never won a McCartney
And
medal.
this man, no, never won it. And this man, Matthew Capuano.
Yep.
Got sacked mid-year.
Yep.
Yeah,
a
he
hero.
moved on.
Caps.
A hero. Our own fat lady.
That
No
was
longer
sad.
with us. She tried. She did her best, but now she's...
Sad.
And of course, Derek Humphrey-Smith, AFL umpire, who left the game this week.
What?
Yeah, he left the game because he couldn't bounce the ball. There's no celebration of umpires in AFL football
No,
or on this show. We're going to give him, ladies and gentlemen, That's right. Now he has left the game, as we've heard, and this is why he bounced the ball.
He can't bounce the ball. Look,
He went
everyone...
back to the Rezzies and came back last week against the West Coast Eagles. Played one more game, and
It all goes to the right.
Well, I don't know. He should have got the media on
Well, you
board.
say it all goes to the right. He should sort of bounce onto the left, and then you know what I mean.
That's right. So it's all the way goes to Derek Humphrey-Smith, and yes, he did go to the right. And to find out whether he does hang to the right, ladies and gentlemen, he's here to collect his award in the studio tonight. Derek Humphrey-Smith. It's a pleasure.
Come on, mate.
Derek, congratulations. Let's get the official things over and done with. There's your award. We'll be getting that back off you in about 2 minutes.